So today I'm going to be talking about cutting cords. I use this process of cutting cords, and I've used it many times in my life for different reasons. Everybody's doing the best they can within their given circumstances. So whether it is not very good in your eyes or not, doesn't really matter. There's so many different things informing all of us, and we're all doing the best we can within those circumstances. We're all feeling pain. We're all evolved on different levels, but we're all doing the best we can within these circumstances. Okay, great. Pretoria, London, wonderful. Doreen, John, Jenny, Anya, welcome, welcome, welcome. Sandy, welcome. And if I haven't said hello to anybody else, welcome, welcome, welcome. So today I'm going to be talking about cutting cords. I think this is a really important thing. Eternity, Eugene, hi, I do see you guys. So from now, if I don't greet absolutely everyone as you come in, please forgive me. It's not because I don't want to be greeting you guys. It's just because I want to make sure that we make the most out of the session. And I'm so glad that you guys are here with me today, because I think that this can really serve you as it has served me. And I've used it many times before. I see you, Jenny. I see you, Leanne. Big smiles everywhere, which is great. I hope Nerd Hook, wonderful. And Johannesburg. I use this process of cutting cords, and I've used it many times in my life for different reasons. And I just want to explain a little bit around it so that you guys have some context. First of all, do you have a relationship or something that happened to you? I'd like you to think of it now, something that happened to you or a relationship with someone that feels very draining or that feels very heavy or that has hurt you in some way, but has an intense heaviness and an intense sadness, intense pain. So anything on that side of the spectrum. Can you guys think of something now? And if you can, just give me a thumbs up so that I know that you've got something in your minds that you can think of. One of the things that I used this for was my abuse that happened to me, and how I neutralized the trauma around that abuse. And so I'm going to speak about that, and then I'm going to also give you, oh, my nose is running. I'm going to also give you another example, which was not abuse, but it was a love example. And so often these sorts of things happen because of love as well, you know. So the one thing I want you to understand before we go into this is soul contracts. Okay, I see thumbs up. Great. So I don't know how many of you know about soul contracts, and I don't know how many of you believe in soul contracts. But basically, I remember the story coming up for me by three different people that were close to me told me the story when I remembered I'd been abused. And that for me immediately is a sign that the universe is trying to get you to understand something. When you get directed in a specific way, when the same information keeps coming to you from different people, different sources, it's for me, that is the universe's way of going, pay attention to this. It's important. You can learn from it. You can grow from it. It will enrich you and it will assist you on your soul's journey. And what happened with me was, when this specific incident happened, and that's why I want you to understand it, is that I just remembered that I'd been abused. I had blocked out my childhood abuse for many, many, many years. And when I remembered that I'd been abused, I was feeling quite overwhelmed, but it was the first time, this was 6 years ago, it was the first time that I thought, okay, I can't hide this. I can't do what I normally do. I have to really look at this and speak about it, not hold the secret in by myself. I need to speak about it to the people that matter. And I did. And 3 people came back to me and spoke to me about Conversations with God. Neil Donald Walsh, the author of that, wrote the story about this little soul. And the little soul was very, very curious. And so the little soul went to God, and the little soul said, God, what am I? And God said, you are happiness. And the little soul was thrilled, and it went off and it experienced itself as happiness. And it came back and it said, God, what else am I? And God said, you are delight. And the little soul was thrilled about this, and it went back and it experienced itself as delight. And it came back again and again and again and again, and it kept coming back. And so eventually a very wise old soul stepped forward and said, little soul, do you really want to know everything that you are? And the little soul said, yes, absolutely. I want to know everything that I am. And so the wise old soul said, okay, I will help you. And the little soul was thrilled, but it noticed that the wise old soul was sad. And it looked at the wise old soul and it said, why are you sad? This is wonderful. You're going to let me experience everything that I am. And the wise old soul said, because sometimes when we experience all that we are, it isn't very comfortable. It isn't very nice, but it will lead you to understanding the true depth and breadth and enormity of what you are. And I'm paraphrasing, of course. But the point is that before we come to earth and experience ourselves in this body, in this consciousness, there's something called soul contracts, which we make. They're contracts we make with other souls that will come into our lives and assist us with an experience that will help us to better understand who we are, what we are capable of. And that's why I've said it so many times before, but often we receive these gifts that are in very difficult packaging, ugly wrapping, and they end up being the greatest gifts that we could receive. Now, it sounds really strange for somebody who's been abused to say, I think that that was a gift. But initially I didn't. And 3 people told me that story. How interesting is that? None of them connected to each other. 3 different people told me that story. And so I started looking for the gift. And I think that's the first key here. All of you have said that you've got something in mind, which I'm really glad. But I want you to think about the possibility that there is a gift in whatever the situation is that has been hurting you. Sometimes that's hard to swallow. So that's the one thing. Think about it. There could be a gift in there. I know for me, one of the things that I've realized is that from everything that's happened to me, and this is 4th dimensional stuff. So just remember, we're moving into 5th dimension. So we don't need the contrast anymore. You don't need to have gone through something awful in order to have joy. You don't need to go through something terribly challenging in order to succeed. It doesn't work like that anymore. That's 4th dimensional. But all of us are coming from a 4th dimensional place. And so this is important to understand so that we leave 4th dimensional stuff that no longer serves us behind. So I'm just explaining it on many layers now. And if I go too fast, please just let me know. You can ask questions afterwards. So there is a gift within it. I know that I would never have been as understanding the depth of my understanding would not be what it is if I hadn't been through everything I've been through. I don't think that I would have the same depth of compassion and care for people that I do if I hadn't been through everything that I went through, because I experienced these things and I was able to, from a very young age, go, oh, wow, but if that's how I feel, I would hate anyone else to feel like that. And so that for me was an incredible learning experience and journey. So I'm going to put that. So that's on the abuse side. I'm going to give you one more example. And that is that I was once hurt by a man. I know, it was horrible. It was terrible. I really, I had this, I thought I'd fallen in love, you know, when you fall in lust with somebody. And we had met each other, and he was, I'd met him through work. I'd interviewed him, and he was fantastic, and he was all about helping and uplifting, and I thought, this guy's super. And anyway, it was a while later we came together, and we had one of those incredible nights where you just don't stop talking and you tell each other everything. And we ended up pulling out our lists, and you know, your list of like everything you want from someone, like in another human being. And we read each other our lists, and he was everything on my list and I was everything on his list. And so it had to be true love, surely. The thing was that at the time I was actually already incredibly sick. And so I was really covering up that I was very, very sick. But I was already very, very sick. And anyway, he was British and I was South African, and we were going to make it work. You know, I was going to travel the world with him, and we were going to put hearing aids in kids, in underprivileged kids, and build communities in underprivileged areas. And I was going to help build this, and he was going to help build this, and we were going to do this together. And anyway, then he flew back to London and we spoke to each other, but I knew I was getting sicker and sicker and sicker, and I didn't know what was going on. And within a month, the coward in me said, Susana, you can't carry on down this road with this guy. He's not gonna, you're battling to function. You know, you can't walk properly, you're in pain, you can't think properly. I was feeling quite emotional because of all of this. And I thought, I can't, this is not, I mean, he's not gonna want me, you know, this mess of a person. And so rather than being rejected, I rejected him. How many of you have done that before? And so I sent him a message and I said, I think you're lovely and wonderful, but I think we must just be friends because I don't think this is going to work. And a week later, I ended up in a wheelchair. Well, a week later, I ended up in bed and couldn't get out of bed again. And 2 weeks later, I was in ICU. And in the meantime, he was sending messages after message after message after message, and I couldn't even see them. So I was not responding, but I could hear my phone binging and binging. And my sisters were telling me that there were messages from him. And I didn't want to deal with it because I didn't know what to say to him. Oh, I'm in hospital. I don't know what's happening, but I think I'm dying. Like, what do you say to a person? So I just ignored it and ignored it. And then eventually I said to my best friend, I said, please just send him a message to say, Susana can't talk right now. She's in no condition to talk. So she will call you when she can. And of course, he then spoke to her and he was like, what is going on? And then my worst freaking night in the hospital, it was literally my worst 24 hours to 48 hours in hospital that I had the entire time. I've got teeny tiny little veins, like they usually use kiddies needles in the veins. And I've got teeny tiny little veins, and they were just, all of them had blown up and exploded. And they just, I couldn't find a vein to put things in. And I'd just been taken off some of my morphine so that they could get me to sign the papers to say that I was going to have emergency chemo. And I was just, ugh. And I remember every day I would be assisted by nurses and by physio to walk down the passage, like literally just a couple of steps, and then up the passage again, just to keep my body physically moving, because my body was lying still the entire time. And I'll never, never forget this. Guys, I was literally the most gross I've ever been in my life. I was on cortisone and I looked like a toddler from the waist down. I had cankles. I was a size 6 upstairs and a size 12 downstairs, which is quite a contrast. So I looked very weird. You know, I wasn't in shape. I was hairy because I am Portuguese and I hadn't been able to shave. I had bags under my eyes. I had no makeup, obviously. And I'm oxygen mask on, dragging myself up the passage, and I just see the silhouette and I just know. And I've never in my life wanted the earth to swallow me up as badly as I did in that moment. And my heart just fell through the floor and I was like, please no, I just didn't want him to see me in that state. And as I was thinking these thoughts, and I couldn't really, my feet were not working and I couldn't really breathe, and I had this oxygen mask on, he came like right into me and I collapsed in his chest and I just sobbed my eyes out. And he helped me to my bed with the nurses and the physio, and he was like, what is going on? Like, why didn't you tell me? And I told him everything that was happening. And I just said to him, I just didn't know what to say to you. I'm sorry. And I said, and I start chemo tomorrow. And I probably can't have kids. And he was like, it doesn't matter. We'll adopt. We'll figure it out. His father had passed from cancer. So he was, I think, also feeling quite delicate about the whole thing. And he was like, I'm going to get my dad's doctors on this and we're going to get you the best help in the world. And he was freaking out. And I was just like sitting there snot crying. It must have been a beautiful sight. And then he left. And I sent him a message and I said, thank you so much for coming and for just being here. And I'm so sorry about all of that. You know, I know it must have been really overwhelming. And he was like, not at all. I was so happy to see you. I'll see you soon, my love. That was it. And then he disappeared, guys. That's what happened. He literally disappeared. I started chemo the next day, no more messages, nothing. He was gone. And then a couple of weeks later, I saw pictures of him with another girl on Facebook. And I was like, okay, so that's what happened. And then I want to try and cut the story short, but he sent me a message like 2 months later saying, it's my birthday today. And so I phoned him and I was like, I'm so happy birthday. I'm so sorry. I forgot it was your birthday. I just had chemo yesterday. My brain's a bit like foggy. No problem. I'm just out of breath. You caught me on the treadmill. I'll phone you back. Obviously didn't phone me back. Anyway, I got really cross. He came to South Africa, didn't see me. I got really cross and I sent him a message and I said, you're just cruel. I can't believe how cruel you are. And I want nothing to do with you ever again. I did one of those, which we've all done as well. And guys, girls, can you hear me? Anybody done that before? Please let me know. And so anyway, 2 years go, no, not 2 years, 1 year goes past. And a very good friend of mine needed a number. And I knew that he was the only person who could get me this phone number. And I tried everything to get the number and I couldn't get it. And so eventually I put my ego aside and I sent him a message and I said, hey, hope you're well. I really need this phone number. Won't you please send it to me? And obviously he didn't reply. And I just thought, screw you, you know. But my friend really needed the number and he was really important to me. And so I started thinking about this. And then I started realizing, like, wow, I've been carrying all of this pain, all of this anger, all of this frustration around with me for a year. And he's probably fine with his new girlfriend and life is happy and well. And the only person who's actually a prisoner to this situation is me. And now this isn't the situation, this isn't the same in every situation, but this is so often what happens, right? We carry this stuff with us. That other person, what they are on their own journey, but we've created this story, this massive story around it. Like for me, I was marrying this guy. We were going to have kids. I'd already, like, we had houses and we're traveling the world, you know, like that's the story I'd created in my mind. Who knows what he had created in his? And so I sat down and I was like, okay, I really do want to resolve this. And the thing that he really did bring to me was that you never know when you're going to meet someone and your whole life is going to shift. He brought that to me because when I met him, I had kind of given up on love. And I just thought, this is never going to happen for me. And so he did give me that. He walked in and that was a surprise. And if a surprise can happen once, surprises can happen again. And that's a very important thing to remember. If a surprise can happen once, if something can happen once, it can happen again. Very important to remember. And so he had brought me that, and I was grateful for that. And so then I sat down and I did actually swallow my pride. And I thought, okay, Susana, you actually did abandon him first. I did. Guys, I rejected him first. That was the truth of the matter. What is my responsibility in this situation? And I sat and I looked at the whole thing. And then once I had taken responsibility for it, and once I had realized that there was a gift in him coming into my life, I wrote him a message from a place of truth. And I said, dear, I'm going to call him Frederick. Dear Frederick, I said, I'm so sorry about the message I sent you earlier on. I shouldn't have begun the way that I did. The truth is that for the last year, I've been carrying all of this pain. And I was really mean to you in that message when I told you I didn't want anything to do with you. And I did reject you first. And I listed all the things that I had done. And I said, and I'm sorry. It came from a place of pain. I hope you will find it in your heart to forgive me. I know that seeing me in that situation must have been extremely overwhelming, and that you did the best that you could. Because, guys, whether we want to believe it or not, everybody's doing the best they can within their given circumstances. So whether it is not very good in your eyes or not, doesn't really matter. There's so many different things informing all of us. And we're all doing the best we can within those circumstances. We're all feeling pain. We're all evolved on different levels, but we're all doing the best we can within these circumstances. And then I sent the message. And I said, if you could help me out, I really would like to help this friend of mine. I'd appreciate it. If not, I totally understand. And I just wanted to send you some love and just let you know that I've forgiven you. And I sent the message. I switched off my phone and I went into process. And I'm going to go into that process in 3 minutes with you guys now so that you can use it at some point when you want to. You don't have to do it now, but I think it would be good for you to come into it with me. And then at a later stage, you can use it again. And when I came out of the process, I switched on my phone and there was a message from him. And he said, wow, he said, you're so magnanimous in the fact that you've forgiven me for my behavior. I've been feeling terrible about it for a year and I haven't even known how to say sorry to you. Thank you so much for your message. It's like taking a ton of bricks off me. And I do send you love, and I wish you all the best, and I wish I'd behaved better. And here's the number. And it was like that. It was like this huge release of like all the stuff I'd been carrying for so long. So that is the power of intention. And I think that that is very important, guys, is that when you do this kind of work, the intention is very, very important. I want to just make sure that I remember everything. And so now we're going to howl and say thank you 3 times. I hope that you guys will join me in the howling. And then I'm going to dip in and take you through the process that I use. And I want you to know that it is energy work. And so you can, I promise you, come back to it at any point, because it will work as beautifully whenever you do it. So let's go into our howling. Is everybody ready? I hope so. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that's our thank yous, guys. So with that in mind now, I see there are a lot of questions coming through and a lot of wonderful notes coming through. So I promise we will do a Q&A after this. But what I'd like you guys to do is try and put both feet on the ground or sit cross-legged. Take your hands and put palms up on your hands. And just close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and exhale it out. Take another deep breath in and exhale it out. And one more time, take a deep breath in. Exhaling it all out. And then what I want you to do is I want you to focus on the light that is way, way, way above your head, in the stars, in the constellations. See that beautiful golden light and see it flood down from the stars. This beautiful white golden light flooding down into the crown of your head. And as it reaches the crown of your head, you can feel it filling your head and your brain and all your thoughts with the energy of love for all things. And as it does so, it dissolves anything, any thoughts, anything in your mind that does not serve your highest purpose. And as the golden white light moves into your third eye, it clears your third eye of any blockages, any fogginess, anything that has come to interrupt clarity, absolute, beautiful clarity, so that you perceive and understand all that happens to you from a place of love for all things. And as this beautiful white light gets shone through your third eye into the world, beautiful white light gets shone back inside, and it arrives in your gorgeous eyes, your windows to the world, and the world's windows to your soul. And it fills your eyes with the love for all things. This beautiful golden white light comes in your nose as you inhale deeply, and it fills your lungs, down your throat, into your lungs. It fills your lungs with the love for all things. Hold that there for a second, and then exhale it out into the world through your mouth. And as you do, exhale love for all things through your mouth. And know that all words will be spoken from a place of love for all things. And as the golden white light fills your ears, hear all sounds, all words, all music. Listen to the wind and the birds. And all that you hear, know that it is coming from a place of love for all things. And now that your head and your brain and your eyes and your third eye and your nose and your mouth and your ears and your cheeks and your chin are filled with the love for all things, this golden light goes into your throat and onto your shoulders. And anything that you've been carrying on your shoulders, let it dissolve now. Dissolving into the love for all things. And as it dissolves, this golden white light streams down your arms and into your hands. Two beautiful golden balls of light floating softly in your hands. Some of you will be able to feel these golden balls of light. You'll feel the energy. Sometimes it's warm, sometimes it's slightly cool, sometimes it's heavy. And you know that you will use your shoulders to carry love for all things, your arms and hands to hold and give and receive love for all things. And then this golden white light comes into your chest and through all of your organs, digesting and churning through all the emotions and experiences of life from a place of love for all things. This golden white light then goes through your legs, your thighs, your knees, your calves, and into your feet, helping you to walk through this world from a place of love for all things. And then this beautiful golden white light streams from your feet deep into the core of the earth. And it's like roots, beautiful golden white light roots streaming around this beautiful golden molten, oh, it's almost like the sun, but it's the center of the earth. I see beautiful hues of red, gorgeous light fusing with the light that you've just sent all the way through from the cosmos, from the heavens. And you are the meeting point of the heavens and the earth. As you feel grounded, let that light from the earth come back up into your feet, into your legs, into your bum, into your stomach, through all of your organs, and let it reach your heart. And as it does so, let your heart expand. This beautiful golden white light, let it expand beyond your body. Let it expand beyond the room you're sitting in. Let it expand beyond the house or apartment or cottage. Whatever it is, the space that you are in, let it expand. And let it get even bigger. And let this golden white light fill your entire neighborhood and then your entire city. It's spreading with such speed and ease and grace. And then your entire country. And now this golden white light is spreading all over the world. Now that we are connected through all space and time and reality, I want you to picture a brass cauldron, like a poiky pot, but a beautiful one made out of brass. I want you to picture that in front of you. And just beyond that, I want you to picture the person that you are wanting to release yourself from, and that you are wanting to release from whatever it is that you've got in your mind. I'm going to let you take a minute now and really take 3 deep breaths and picture this person. See their face. They're quite far in front of you. You can't touch them. They can't touch you. You are 100% safe. Picture them standing just a couple of meters ahead, maybe, 10 to 15 meters ahead, whatever is comfortable for you. Picture them standing there. See the expression on their face. And if you can, feel into the emotions that they are feeling in their heart. Then come back to yourself and feel the emotions that you are feeling. You have every right to feel every emotion that you feel. Every emotion that you feel has come with a gift. So greet that emotion with gratitude and feel that emotion now. I can feel a lot of emotion going on here. And that's perfect. That's exactly what we want right now. Feel that emotion, but know that you are safe. You're 100% safe to feel that emotion, to greet that emotion with gratitude. What I want you to do now is I want you to hold that emotion in your hand. See that emotion coming out of you. Take it out of you with your hands if you want. Whatever way you want, it can stream out of you into your hands, or you can pull it out of yourself. But see it floating in your hands. Mine always come in like a dark color, like a navy or a midnight blue, sometimes a black or a gray. I see that emotion. And I understand that that emotion has come with gifts. And now I want you to thank that emotion, that experience, for whatever it was that it brought into your life, consciously or unconsciously. You don't need to understand it, just thank it. Recognize it. And exhale it out. Then I want you to place that emotion into that cauldron, into that brass bowl. Just place the emotion there as you thank it. And then I want you to look towards that person and remember, whatever it was, that situation, what was it? What was it about that situation? And as you do, you will see that it's almost like there's a cord of dark light connecting the two of you. Picture this cord of dark light. It's coming from your center and into their center. Picture it there. Now that you have that cord and you can see their face, you can feel their emotions, you feel yours, you remember the situation, you've already placed some of that emotion in the dish, so this isn't overwhelming. You can handle this. You are strong enough, you are brave enough, and you are more powerful than you believe. You can get through anything. You can heal anything. You can release anything that no longer serves you across all time, space, and reality. Keep that in mind now. And as you see this dark cord of light, I want you to picture Archangel Michael coming in. He is here to support you. He is here to serve you. And as Archangel Michael stands by your side, I want you to look towards this person. And I want you to say, thank you for what you brought into my life, whether I consciously or unconsciously understand the gifts of it yet. I thank you for bringing it into my life, and I release you now, and I forgive you now. And as you do that, Michael uses his beautiful sword, his golden sword of light, and he cuts through the cord. And as he does, the cord releases. And I want you to take your hands and grab onto the cord and pull it out of the person opposite you. Pull that cord out. It's a long cord. Some may be a short cord. It could be thick, it could be thin. It's all up to you. You pull that cord out and put it into your cauldron. I'm going to let you take a moment to finish doing that. And now look to your own center and pull the cord out of yourself. Pull it out. Anything that is left inside you, pull it out. Any darkness, any anger, any pain, any frustration, any betrayal, anything that came with that situation, pull it out of your center. I can feel a lot of heaviness being pulled out. Pull that out. And if you cry, allow yourself to cry. Release whatever needs to be released. Pull it out. And take that cord and place it into the bowl. Some of you still have some cords to pull. That's okay. Just keep pulling. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to scan your body. Scan your body and just see if there's any residue, anything left over, any little patches of darkness or pain, of anxiety, depression, feelings of unworthiness, anything that no longer serves you, that is related to that situation or any other situation across time, space, and reality associated with that situation, why that situation came into being. I want you to find those things now. I want you to take those things, and in a moment, I can feel them just popping into your bowl. Beautiful. And I see you now as you see yourselves, a beautiful golden white light being standing in empowerment. Inhaling and exhaling love for yourself. And inhaling and exhaling love for the person from which you had the soul contract. And now I want you to say to that person, thank you, I am complete. I have received everything that I needed to receive from this interaction. And I release now all that no longer serves my highest soul purpose. And as you do that, I want you to picture this cauldron lifting up and going to the light. And as it reaches the highest point of light, it is transformed. All that was once darkness is now transformed. All that was once pain is now transformed. All that was once agony was now transformed. All that was once a feeling of not enough, of insignificance, of anger, anguish, of betrayal, all negative emotions, feelings, experiences are now released. And the beautiful golden white light comes back down again. And in this gorgeous cauldron, you see the transformed light. And you pick some up with one hand, and you pick the rest up with the other hand. And in the one hand, just blow that beautiful golden white light to that person. And you send it to them. And with your other hand, you take that golden white light and you put it in your chest. And then bring both hands to your chest. And feel the relief, the release, the ease and the love. And send that energy out to everyone and everything. And As you do so, come back. Slowly come back from the stars and the cosmos into our planet. Come back into your country. Come back into your neighborhood. Come back into your home. Come back into yourself. And thank yourself today for releasing what no longer serves you across all time, dimension, space, and reality. Thank yourself for transforming what no longer served you into light and love and ease and grace. And when you are ready, you can come back into the room. When you guys are ready and you're back into the room, give me a little wave or a little thumbs up or a little heart, just so that I know that you're there. So I have used that. I'm just going to have a sip of water. I needed a big sip. If you've got some water, have some water as well. Okay, I can see hearts coming through. Great. So I've used that. It always comes through me. So I don't know exactly what will come, but it's a very similar process each time. I see there's shout outs from New Zealand, and there's love and waves, good, and kisses. Thank you so much. So I never know what is going to come through, but I just know that it is love-filled and clearing, and that it has really assisted me in releasing what does not serve me. And so I've used it for situations, as I've said, for relationships, and I've used it for just if I create something in my mind, if I'm carrying a feeling that I feel is not serving me, I can use it to release that. So you guys can use it for basically anything. Sorry, I realized I went on for 26 minutes. It's quite a long meditation, but it is quite a process. How are you guys feeling? Let me know. How are you feeling after that? And do you have any questions? That was such a good release. Thank you. Okay, great. I'm so glad that you felt that way. Thank you. Amazingly touching. Great. I'm so, so glad. Thank you from my heart to yours and from mine to yours. Thank you so much. Shout out. Okay, great. So you found that helpful. I'm really, really glad. Do you have any questions? We do have a few minutes left of this session. So if you do have any questions, please do let me know now. And while I give you a minute to write out any questions, Ingrid, are you feeling sick? It looks like your emoji says that you're feeling sick. I hope that you're not. Sometimes when we get a flood of emotions, and we release them, like I can feel there was a lot of emotions that came through from you guys, and I can feel that in me. And I think that's why I've even got a little bit of a sore throat, because it's a lot of release. So really just be gentle with yourselves afterwards. Some people will feel elated. Some people will feel light. Some people will still feel a bit heavy. That's okay. Just remember, Ingrid was trying to send hearts. She pushed the wrong emoji. Okay, glad. I'm glad about that, Ingrid. I think that one of the reasons, okay, I see that now. I think one of the reasons why my throat is a little bit sore is, I don't know if somebody is tuned in, but that's kind of what my intuition is saying, that somebody is tuned in that has felt like they didn't have a voice or they didn't have a way of expressing what they've been through or what they've been feeling. If that's one of you guys, you can let me know. But that's completely normal. I think a lot of us grow up not feeling heard and not expressing our true feelings. The latter part of this is very important, guys. So please don't rush this. Please take the time to really write it out, to really think about everything, because the steps in this are so important. To actually want to release this is very important. You're not going to release anything that you don't want to release really in your heart. The finding compassion for them. I found compassion for them, even my abusers. I know that nobody hurts unless they're hurting. Only hurt people hurt people. This is the truth. And so if we can step back and go, okay, I recognize I have been hurtful before when I have been hurting, and that's what this person did as well. And you take responsibility for that. And when you do, you will find compassion for them. And then with that, you find forgiveness for them. And some people will need to do this numerous times with specific individuals, and some it'll just clear like that. Everybody's different, and it's okay. But we are in now the 5th dimension, so it should move a lot quicker than it did before. But just be gentle with yourselves, whatever happens. Why did I have to get chemo? I had something called systemic lupus, and I was really, really bad. And they had no idea what to do with me, and they tried absolutely everything. And one of the things about lupus is it's an overactive immune system. And I had, most of my organs were nearing shutdown. They were in distress. I was having brain seizures, near organ failure, and I had water in my lungs. And so they needed to shut down my immune system to create more time to figure out how to treat me. And the only way to do that was to give me emergency chemo. So that's why. So it wasn't cancer, it was something different. You have a very special gift after all that you have been through. I so needed this session. God bless you and all that you do. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to honor every single person that is tuned in right now, because I really do know that all of us are going through our own challenges, and there is no challenge that is bigger or smaller than anybody else's. But I honor you for taking the commitment and the time and the journey to invest in yourselves. And I send you much love and light. I must tell you, I did a healing yesterday, and it was a pre-recorded healing with one of my mentors and coaches, Leisha Jarrett. I've been working with Leisha for 2 years now, and I find her absolutely phenomenal. And it was amazing because everything comes to you in divine timing, and I believe this with everything in me. And last week I was having this battle, a very specific battle, and it was all around giving and receiving. Actually, at the end of the day, giving and receiving was the core of it. And Leisha had done her first webinar in her membership program, and it came up very strongly, giving and receiving. And I couldn't get past 40 minutes of the webinar. The webinar was 1 hour and 40 minutes long, and I couldn't get past. My internet just failed me every time I tried to watch it. And I tried so many times, and I was getting so frustrated. And eventually, last night, at 9:45, it started working, and I finished watching it last night. And it was like, and I'm telling you guys this because it's important to understand energy work. Whether you're listening to this live now or whether you're listening to a recording of it later, you're listening to it at exactly the right time for your soul's journey, because this is energy work. And so it works in divine timing, and there is no time, space, or reality. As insane as that sounds, just try and expand your minds to that thought, because to that possibility, actually, because last night when I was doing Leisha's healing, it was like she was speaking specifically to me. How many of you have experienced that before, where you are listening to something and it's like, oh, that connects exactly, specifically with me right now, and I'm so grateful for it right now. This happens all the time with energy work. I want to thank Leisha for everything that she did. And I don't know if you guys know, but Leisha has got a membership, and she is not only my coach, but she coaches lots of people, and she works with our wounding and with so many other things, and really helping you find your true life's path. And she is running a special for my followers that she's extended until Friday for only $7 for the first month, which I just think is insane with what she does and how it has transformed my life. So if you would like that information and you would like to join her for the first month for that, please do let me know. And let me just see if there are any more questions here. You are a true survivor. I'm so inspired. Thank you so much. You guys inspire me all the time. Thank you, Susana. That was just what I was needing to do. Oh, good. We'll be in touch. Thyroid project might have been something to do with what you were picking up. Very possibly, you know, everything mind-body connection, guys, we are all connected. It's like you speaking to me right now. See exactly what I was saying a minute ago. Should we do this daily? You can do it daily. You can do it whenever you want. You can do it more than once a day if you need to. Don't do it like all day, but because it needs time to process as well. But yes, you can absolutely do it daily. And you'll see that as you start clearing, the need to clear will become less and less. Love to you, Susana. This session was so lovely, but emotional. I know it is difficult to find words to determine it. I know I could feel the emotion coming through. Please be gentle with yourselves. I'm sending you lots of love, lots of compassion. Please, 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 guys, be gentle with yourselves. Drink lots of water, flush through, take it easy today. And just know that I am holding you in the greatest love and the greatest light. Bye for now. Thank you so much, so much for tuning in today.